I will also go through my regular mentions, which is, of course, this meeting is being recorded, so don't say anything stupid because this is still going to go back online and we're still going to get through all of this. We are going to have a repeat meeting of this because I think it's so important on next Wednesday morning. So for those of you that want to come for a second helping of this, I think that there's a lot to cover because the landscape of AI and video is changing. First, first of all, any questions on this at this point? I mean, there's nothing more that I can really say, but I'm trying this. I don't have a script here, guys, so I'm just trying to find the best way to mention it. I hope that that was okay. Maybe. Abegu company, maybe a little bit. Okay. So let me just say this to everyone. Who here has actually used AI video at this point? I want to just see a show of hands. Has there been any of you that have actually? Okay, Alexander Parker. Holy shit, you're here. Can you unmute yourself and say hi and tell me what you've?
What's up, my friend? I've missed you, sir.
Well,
It's nice to see
welcome.
you.
Good to see you too. So what video have you done?
Uh, so there was it was I was trying to work on the Google Veil 3, and then there was another one through ChatGPT that we were trying to do video, but it was a little bit earlier on. I've seen some of the new ones out, and then I saw the video you posted. So I was like, I want to jump on and catch out how you were prompting that and creating that because it came out pretty smooth.
Yeah, and it's some of it is really just quite remarkable, and some of it is really pure shit. And I will show you a little bit of both so that you could really make the distinction. How could it be used? First of all, I want to start with a little bit of a warning. We are all licensed agents somewhere. I am in the great state of Florida. We've got Stacy in New York and the Hamptons. We got people all over the country and indeed in different parts of the world. Please, please, please check with your local governing body, whatever that might be, about the legality of using some of this in video. Right now, my understanding of what I could use the video for, if I have a great interior shot of a home and I think the outside really, it's a crappy day or I'm not so nuts about this. One of the things that I've done is I did an exterior nighttime shot of Miami or New York or Boca or wherever you might want to do. And you could describe in great detail how you want that shot to be. And then you could dissolve into the home. Victor knows what a dissolve is. It's a transition of when you go from one to another. That is one of the simplest ways to actually do this. But let me show you a couple of other things here that should get you a little jazzed. At least I hope it gets you jazzed. Gets me jazzed, but what could I say? I'm kind of a nerd. Um, where is this thing? Oh, here we go.
Edmund Bogen hosts a
That one
mastermind on
here.
AI and sales 6 times a month.
I
Who
get
bought a home in South Florida from Edmund Bogen?
AI is the future, and nobody demonstrates the rapidly evolving technology like Edmund Bogen.
I have an appointment with Edmund Bogen to sell my home.
If I were real, I would sell my St Andrews Country Club home with Edmund Bogen.
Edmund Bogen found the perfect home for me in Boca Raton, where I will be moving.
Edmund Bogen is an incredible business coach. You need to try his mastermind.
It's free to try, and you know what? Edmund's clients make money.
So what are you waiting for? We already said it's free to try. Click the link to find out more.
Okay. Click not bad, right? Sort of?
Yeah, it's nice.
Maybe. Oh, that was kind of the punchline, guys. I hope you liked it. Yes. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to go on with how you could actually create that, where I created that, and we'll talk about the kinds of things that you could actually do with it. I always say to people, when it comes to technology, you really do put the cart before the horse. It's fun. It's a shiny object. It's neat. You could get lost in it. Eitan and I do it all the time. Okay, we love this stuff. It's great. The problem with it is that you got to start with a meaningful end in mind. Don't you agree with that? You got to really try and think through what you want to accomplish with this. So first and foremost, I will reverse that and show you the mechanics of it. And we'll go back over here. And I will show you, let's start with Genspark. Genspark is an AI aggregator. Let me get rid of that. Where you could ask very, very specific requests, and it has a whole suite of tools. In other words, you're paying, I think I pay them $25 a month, and from that you get a certain number of credits. Let's take a look over here. So right now I've got 3,522 credits yet. The video that you saw, that 8-second video, costs about 800 credits. So you can start to do the math. It works out to be about $2 or $3 for an 8-second video. For those that think that's a lot of money, I invite you to speak to Victor Curry at some point, who worked in Hollywood, and I could tell you to get something that's nearing perfection as far as video quality goes. That's a remarkable thing. But let's take a look at something. You guys are going to help me with this right now. The video tool that I use is called VEO3. It's by Google. So I'm going to say use VEO3 to create an 8-second video of, okay, guys, now it's up to you. What are we going to make the video of? Throw out some ideas. Nobody wants to speak first. Who's bold?
Boca.
Okay, so got to be a little more specific.
Are you able to put one of us in a house, like in a specific house? Like, could you put me in our listing? Is that possible, or is it too specific?
But not with this particular tool.
Okay.
But it is, and we'll get it. Now you just jumped up 5 classes. You're now in your senior year, Dina. But no, that's
I know,
fine.
I'm always the annoying kid. Sorry.
No, it's a good question. Eddie said rafting in the mountains. Eddie, we could certainly do that, but that doesn't bring any voice into it. Here, where is everybody? I'm going to see everybody here. So let's think this through. What, we could do something on a plane. We could have a battle. We could have, I mean, what was the last movie you saw? You could have a romantic comedy. I mean, you could do a sitcom. You could do, at this point, you got to decide, give me something that could be a very short little dialogue.
You want dialogue? How about a politician standing before Congress talking about the importance of buying a home in the current market?
You know what? Because Victor threw it out there, I'm going to make an 8-second video of a congressman addressing Congress and saying that
just you should buy a home. I mean, we've only got 8 seconds.
Yeah. Addressing Congress and says, I'm trying to put Victor Curry into this. Victor Curry sold, I mean, if we want to make it funny, me a home in California. And let me get this here. And I have decided to change party lines. Okay, everyone.
That's fair. I've pissed off a few politicians in my life.
Acts shocked. Okay, so there, use VSO3 to create an 8-second video of a congressman addressing Congress and says, Victor Curry sold me a home in California and I've decided to change party lines. Everyone act shocked. Okay, so let's see what comes up with that. By the way, that was a pretty shitty prompt. I wish that it was, so political satire video, and it's saying that it's going to create the scene, and great, it's going to work on that. While that works on that, we'll chat about a couple things because it does take some minutes to put that together. One of the things that I want to address with all of you is the notion of prompting. Congress is a very descriptive place. They understand that. If you wanted to actually have some type of real description, I don't know who said Miami skyline. Zainab said New York, Miami skyline at night, or that's great stuff. But the more descriptive you are, you're going to discover that the prompts themselves will really dictate the outcome of what you're trying to accomplish in that. So today, just for the sake of this meeting, we've got 2 tools that we're going to focus on. One of them is VSO3 by Google. And as I always tell all of you, it's a moving target. Next week, another great tool may very well
Can I ask you a question?
enter the marketplace. But two, we're going to look at something called HeyGen, which is where you're able to make those narrative things. Eitan, please go ahead.
So why aren't you going to Google directly?
Why aren't I going to Google directly? Good question. Google directly, one of the things that you get out of these different services, when I was mentioning Genspark, this is what's called an aggregator of AI tools. Now, let me just be very, very clear about that. Rather than subscribing to all these AI tools that are out there, there are these different aggregators that have become a real thing. And what are the aggregators actually doing? They are getting into the back end. For those of you who want to nerd out with me, it's called the API, Application Programming Interface. And they're getting into that. They're able to draw the data for fee from these different companies. The reason I use Genspark is it happens to be right now an anomaly in the market. For the amount of times I make a video, it's much cheaper for me and ultimately for you to use something like Genspark to be able to get the job done. It's also a lot easier. You know, what I'm promising all of you is you could come to these meetings and not necessarily become such a huge, you want to sell real estate. You don't necessarily want to become a video expert. And while we were talking, I just want to share with you Victor's video here. Let's take a look. This is the first time seeing it, guys, so I don't know what this will look like, but let's take a look here.
I have decided to change party lines.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Victor Curry sold me a home in California, and I have decided to change party lines. Victor Curry sold me a home in California, and I have decided to change party lines.
How to get him to shut the
Victor Curry sold me a home.
Sorry about that, guys. It goes on forever here. Pretty cool, right? I thought that was kind of neat. Again, the takes you may have to do over and over again, because if you look at it, we could go back, and I will share this with everybody. You'll notice that the people reacted too soon. He didn't even say it at that point. The angle wasn't so great. But for just a dumb prompt that Victor wrote, not me. Victor was the one who told me what to do, and I kind of helped it along here. It's really quite remarkable what you could actually get out of these things. So I will send you again without Daniel here. Eitan and I are dealing with this. Please do send emails at this point to Edmund at Bogen Homes. And Eitan, if you don't mind putting your email into the chat as well, both of us. For now, you'll be able to reach out to us. We will get I don't want to say replacement, but we will update our system to be able to make it work for everyone. And we're going to do that real soon. This should be absolutely seamless from your membership standpoint. Questions so far?
Edmund, real quick, so the three components were the Genspark, which is the aggregator, the VEO3, which is the video generator, and then what was the third component there? There was something else I missed there.
I think I said the prompt.
Oh,
I mean, so there's another tool I'm about to show you called HeyGen.
Which one was that called?
Called HeyGen.
HeyGen. Okay, that's what I was missing.
HeyGen. I'm going to get Jane in just a second.
Okay.
But we'll take a look at that. Where you go with it is something that, again, it's a personal thing, Stephen. You may want to. Eitan did a whole thing with the bar mitzvah boy who was terrified to speak in public, so he made his bar mitzvah speech as an avatar. This kid, Eitan, made an avatar out of this kid, and they loved it. It was a great alternative for this guy. By the way, in this meeting. You're now in a Zoom meeting. Did you know that last week at an investors seminar, the CEO of Zoom used an AI avatar to address his investors? So maybe Eitan wasn't so far off with the bar mitzvah boy. It's pretty interesting that a video company actually uses this thing. Not everyone's great at it, and you can now do these things. Jane, you raised your hand. If you could just unmute yourself. Juan, I'm going to get to you in just a second. But Jane, you had a question.
Sorry for the basic question. I'm not a technology person. So your video, when it's done, what format is it?
MP4.
Okay, that's easy. Thank you.
MP4, and that's what gets on YouTube quite a bit. Most of you have heard of MP3. If you haven't, that is an audio file that you will get on, say, your iPhone. When you listen to music on that, that's MP3, that's sound. MP4 is video. And depending upon the quality of the video, again, some of this is great and some of this is terrible. I'm going to show you both. Juan, go ahead, and then Alexander.
Morning.
Juan, going to tell everyone who you are and where you are, just so we know everybody.
Oh, good morning. Juan Yarusi, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Nice to meet you all. Have you found it to be some of these tools, sometimes if you're too specific, it gives them trouble depending on the AI, and others like it more. So have you tried doing, like, let's say, a full script with scene setting, camera angle, etc., and the actual dialogue, and giving it to it? Have you had better results that way, or keeping it more broad like you just did, like a congressman?
I think you belong in class with Dina, that this is definitely coming. It's definitely going to be longer, cheaper, better. We're getting all of that. Right now, what you're seeing is state of the art today. Tomorrow it could be something totally different. But what I just showed you was truly state of the art in video making. And again, it's a moving target. So no, right now I'm able to generate these 8-second videos. You're able to string them together. And there's people who are right now, you've got a window of opportunity. Anybody want to start a social media channel? There's one that the guy somehow has not been canceled. Eitan, you know what I'm talking about. Fat Fellas? Okay. So Fat Fellas. Fat Fellas takes a group of rather large black men and has made a theoretical narrative about them where they are all crypto millionaires and they're dating Russian hot women, and they made these videos of this, and the guy's got 1 million followers now by aggregating these different tools. If you are on Instagram, I would encourage you to see Fat Fellas. Not that I want you to make videos that way, but I want you to see how people are pushing the limits of what is out there. And we've got a limited window where you could actually do that if that's your goal. I'm going to make the assumption that your goal is to sell real estate here, but I think you learn from these different tools and these different people that are out there. Alexander, go ahead.
Oh, I saw, sorry, on your Genspark where you had the other AIs under there. You have to have an account with like ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever to kind of use it through the back end, or it does that even if you aren't logged in?
Good question. Genspark will aggregate and access ChatGPT or via VEO3 or Claude or any of the tools by being a member of that. You do not need to. In fact, it's completely irrelevant in that instance. So
oh, wow.
I think Genspark has done some pretty remarkable things. It is a tool out of China. You probably, how many of you have even heard of it? Most of you probably have not. But I think it's a great tool. I think they've done a great job with not just that, but at some point I will have a dedicated meeting to Genspark because I think that there's just a lot of stuff that you could do with it for your business. For example, Eitan, did you put up the down? Actually, here, I'll pull it up here. And I saw Jonathan, you had a question I'm going to get to you in 1 second, but I want to show all of you this. Sorry, I need to share my screen for you to see it. Okay, so the only thing missing here is the picture of me, and you can see it's a dramatically different format. Well, necessity is the mother of invention. Obviously, we didn't have the same support putting these things together, and what we discovered in using Genspark is that the formatting, in my opinion, is absolutely remarkable. Now, all of you could have a copy of this. I'm going to put this in the chat in a minute. But this was done by Genspark, where I generated the content by sitting down and thinking on Claude and on ChatGPT what I wanted you to do. I then gathered my thoughts with it, and I took those thoughts and I described into Genspark what I wanted. And sure enough, it came up with this really great workbook, which once again, I'm going to share with all of you right now. So if it's again really quite remarkable what you can get out of it. There, I just put it up for all of you to click on. Let me know if you're able to access it. Okay, if not, we'll find another way to get it to you. That's a great thing. That's something that it's no excuse not to read. It's no excuse not to work. I had someone get annoyed with me. It's like, oh, the thing screwed it up. It didn't screw it up. You have no excuse. Fucking read it. I mean, seriously. I mean, just stop and think it through. You gotta do your work. I'm not saying this is a free pass. What I'm saying is it's the ultimate tool. And if you treat it that way, you could do rather well. Where was Jonathan here? Jonathan, tell everyone who you are and where you are, please.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Migdal. I work with Jane Migdal in the Boston suburbs as part of with Gibson Sotheby International Realty. Quick question regarding the aggregators, Edmund.
Sure.
In the prompt with Victor's video, you specified for the aggregator to use VEO3.
Yes.
I had never heard of VEO3 before. Does the aggregator, if I didn't know of VEO3, does the aggregator automatically choose the most appropriate AI tool given the prompt, or do you need to know the various tools that are within the aggregator?
See, that's how I keep you coming back, Jonathan. You find out from me what all the tools are. But the short answer is no, it's not going to automatically pick necessarily the best tool. And in fact, I spent 800 credits on that video. So that was, I estimate about $2 to make that video. Once again, you could say that
I'm not concerned about the cost as much as
but Genspark is
the platform.
Genspark and all AIs are basically trained right now to oftentimes default to the cheapest value, which might not be what you need. So I'll show you. There's something called Runway, which we're going to take a look at. Actually, probably now, but I think we had another question, maybe.
So I just the Google new format, the VO3 or what, something like that. That is the most expensive. So when I asked it to do a video, it actually did not use that. Then I asked it to use that service, and it says, "But wait, this is going to cost you a lot more than the other. It will deduct 800 credits." And it actually wanted my approval to go with that service.
Yeah, it's so they do try and give some type of warning because obviously, you know, you don't want to find out that you spent up your monthly credits on this and you could buy more. Everybody's got something to actually sell. I'm trying to sort through the stuff that you should pay for and the stuff that you should actually do. Let me show you one that I'm also using. It's called Gen 4 Turbo by a company called Runway.ml. I'm going to actually put that in now, which you could look up on your own. But let's just take a look at this because Dina had the question, can we put a picture in? And I did this. This is a friend of mine. He sent me this old picture of him and his dad from many, many, many years ago, obviously. And he said he regretted never getting any video of his dad. So I took it and I animated it. And while, again, you could see the other one was a little bit better, it just basically moved them together. He was pretty pleased. He looked at that and thought, okay, that's kind of cool. There's a whole variety of things that you could actually do. Let me take a look here. We got Golda Meir and Albert Einstein congratulating my dad on an award that he had. Well, both of them are dead. But you're able to see this, yes? Anyone? Could somebody please speak up?
Yes, positive.
Yes, we can see it.
So again, the quality of this, if you didn't see the last one, you'd say it's pretty good, but it was just once again a video that was created by a prompt. Here, the quality is not as good, but the price is much, much better. You could also take a look at some of the things that we've actually created in the past, if I could find the damn thing. See all. Let's take a look.
So this is how they did scenes in Forrest Gump. They used Runway. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, what they did was they took an image, like here I did this with a puppy dog, which I thought was kind of cool because I love dogs. And I put it. Look, Eitan, Ed made this using artificial intelligence. See you at the next Rain Nation meeting. You see, there we have it. And, you know, it had a little doggy walking on a finger. Now, why is this important for real estate? I don't know. It's just something to actually learn. And I find that by using this type of free.
When home hunting in Florida, I work with the Edmund Bogen team at Douglas Elliman. When home hunting in
And you can see how the technology has gotten better and better. This was at the time, and this was about 2 months ago, pretty good. But compared to the last one, it's not. We've got various imagery that we're making here. That was, we were doing a whole thing about the Queers for Palestine. In any case, we had that stuff that was actually out there. I wanted to put that up. As far as what you could do with these tools, again, you got to stop and think through where you want to actually go with it. We're going to show you a couple other things, but who's got some other questions? Nobody. Dina?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Eddie, go ahead.
Me? Okay. What about a voiceover tool? Like I have my photographer do walkthrough videos on all my listings. And sometimes it'd be nice to add a voice to it. And I know there's ways of doing it, but I thought, if I can do it in not my voice, but in the professional speaker's voice, is there AI out there for voiceover for existing video?
You see, that's why I love you, Eddie. You bring us right into the next point that we're going to actually make. There is, and in fact, that tool, there's a bunch of them right now. But let me just get this out here. Sorry, guys, I'll show you in just a minute. I just have to. There's something called 11 Labs. Anybody hear of 11 Labs?
11 Labs. No.
The one thing let me toss in while you're pulling it up, Ed, is there's a lot of 11 Labs radio ads on right now. People are using it rather than hiring VO people. My annoyance of the fact is, as someone who is still a SAG member, but there's not a whole lot of voice work anymore. But one of the problems is there is an emotional component missing, and I think that's one thing that everyone misses with a lot of this stuff. It's the same thing with the voice as it is with the with video. With video we kind of accept it, but we are so attuned as human beings to vocal tone that we have to be very careful about where we use it. It's great to have it like ask you a question, but it is not as good as having a human voice. Still, it will be, but for promotion.
Yeah, and today you're right. In some cases,
get really close.
It really truly is. And one of the things that you could do with it as well, if anyone calls my telephone number, one of the things they'll find is that I have it in English and then I have it in French. Guess what? I don't speak French. I also did it in Japanese. So if we said something keeping with the Victor thing, Victor Curry is the greatest guy ever. I mean, we don't even need to be so huge about this, and we'll do this in a 70-year-old grandma voice.
Victor Curry is the greatest guy ever.
Okay, so we could do it now as my voice. Regenerate.
Victor Curry is the greatest guy ever.
You're able to now manufacture what you might need. What if you're making a video and you wanted the narrative with somebody with an accent or an older voice or something? You're able to control that and begin to make this. You could also change languages. Where is the language tool? Of course, I'm not able to find it when I've got it on here. Well, I'll show it to you as soon as I find it. But you're able to actually switch languages and voices of all these various tools, which they got.
Can you make it with a radio announcer?
They've got all sorts of stuff. I mean, and to go back to what Victor was saying, here's a voice.
A confident, reliable, credible narrator.
Okay, let me somehow. That's not what I wanted.
No.
Let's see.
No, that's still the same. That's Speechify.
Is it? It shouldn't be. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I think I just need to refresh. Sorry, guys.
We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, Who are you not to be?
Okay, so Victor, getting a little bit better?
Hi, I'm Amelia, a super high quality English voice. I love to read. Seriously, I'm a total bookworm.
You were looking for a teenage narrator, and I was waiting for you. That's it. We found each other.
I mean, the voices are amazing. It's just that it's still flat. And I think that's and like I said, it's getting better. Having produced commercials for years, one of the things is emotional tone is one of the real keys to it. And that's what's still missing from almost all of this stuff, is that in terms of the vocals, there's a flatness. 11 Labs has this older British voice. In fact, you used it a long time ago when you first started playing with this for your avatar guy. And he's now on like 20 different commercials in LA, and that LA people are using because they think it's upmarket sales. And it's so flat. And when the biggest car dealer, Fletcher Jones, out here for high-end stuff, uses him. And and they used to hire voice people. The voice people were a lot more sellable than this guy is. It's lacking emotion, and that's where AI is still it's got its issue, is its emotional pitch. But it's still, I mean, it has so many uses. I'm blown away too. I mean, I would use it in 2 seconds to be like, if you want to do a Q&A, have all these different people ask you questions as the expert, swapping those voices in, and all of a sudden you can make it seem like you've got a room and you're in front of a TED Talk talking about all of your stuff, and you look like the greatest expert of all time answering 50 different questions from all these different voices coming from the audience. There's so many uses. It's amazing.
And even beyond that, here's something that you could also appreciate is the sound effects that you're actually able to make with it. Now, you might not know about this, but now 11 Labs has a feature called sound effects. And let's take a look at this here. I wrote down car crash. I'm going to actually write it down in New York City on a busy day. Okay, I don't mean to bash New York or anything like that, but we've got this here. And let's see just what actually it comes up with, if anything. The silence is deafening. Okay, so let's...
Not just the reach poignant parts and activity.
Strawberry and truth system car ships westward for studies to hear the dueling crime for the
We're drees a lot of road bitter and all right today and
Interesting. So they're I don't know why.
Not just the reach poignant parts and activity and rice on wording fashion day.
And it's gibberish. Okay, so that didn't work. Like I said, I'm not afraid to try these things and not have it work. Let's just say car crash, see if that actually works. Again, guys, you've got to tinker with this stuff.
A lot of people say to me, how do I make the safe and right move? You know what? Those are two very, very different things. Safe. There's nothing safe anymore. You want to make the right move. Sometimes you're going.
I don't know what that was. Okay, so we'll have to pick it up and pull it back up again. Once again, you're able to make voices and do all of that. They've changed the, I said cache. Is that what it was? It was a bad spelling. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. You're going to make me do this again here. Give me one more second, guys. I'm sorry. 11 Labs. I'm going to show you the screen in a second. Stay with me. Don't lose it here. Car cache. Jesus.
Yeah.
Let's see this. Not very good. Sample 2. Okay, that's a little too harsh. Let's do birds tweeting. Tweeting, singing, I don't know. Let's see what the difference between tweeting and singing is. I think that there will be a difference. first things first, guys, learn how to spell.
Brush number 3 sounded more like Talladega than Fifth Avenue.
Okay, that's too quiet. Yeah, this one was. Now let's try birds singing. And let's see if it makes the distinction between the two. Now, Victor knows. Victor, how large is the sound effects business in the world? It's about $1 billion, more or less.
Oh, not what it used to be, but yeah, it used to be. Used to be a fortune. In fact, we used to have crews when they would be out at places gather sound in the background. These days, you can buy it if you have a subscription to what's it called, Epidemic Sound for music and things. It has a couple of million sound effects as well that you can also get. That's also within your subscription.
It sounds like the Rainforest Cafe.
Well, this is costing a whopping $5 a month for
not bad.
11 labs. And with that, I don't need to ask anybody. I can now go and actually generate a sound. Again, I just show this to all of you to take a quick peek at what's going on. Okay, HeyGen, Eitan, where is Eitan? Eitan, you want to help me explain HeyGen because you've been doing a lot of the generation for clients? Are you with me?
Yes, so HeyGen allows you to create an avatar. You upload the sample video of the person, and then you can edit it into a long video with text, with other video, with pictures, and then it has a whole editing board, and it animates the characters.
Okay.
Then it has a library of over 200 avatars. Probably you can create your own. And now I'm playing around with a new functionality they have. It's interactive avatar. So it's like a AI chat that you speak to, but it will speak through your own avatar. So you could basically have yourself on a website responding to customer requests or to inquiries by video.
Yeah. And here's one such video that Eitan made of me. This is one of the AI eds that are out there, I believe.
Ready to elevate your real estate game with AI? Join the Rig Nation Mastermind every Wednesday at 9 a.m. EST, led by top real estate coach Edmund Bogen. Discover breakthrough strategies to double your commissions, dominate the luxury market, and future-proof your business.
Okay, so that sucked. That sucked because it didn't say the name of this thing right, and it was a little bit frozen. So now that's up to us to try and make it better, which I believe we did a couple times. Let's take a look at this one.
Are you still struggling to set appointments consistently in your real estate business? Let me break this down for you. Straight from my Edmunds Mastermind by Rain Nation. Every top producer knows the foundation is simple. Book appointments daily, close more deals, and grow your pipeline.
Okay, even the hand movements don't necessarily match it perfectly, but it's getting better and better and better. And you guys can, and Eitan, can I put on the bar mitzvah boy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so here's the bar mitzvah boy.
שלום לכולם. אני כל כך שמח לראות את כולכם כאן הערב בתל אביב כדי לחגוג את הבר מצווה שלי. תודה לכל מי שנסע.
Okay, so he even did it in Hebrew. So you're able to do Hebrew, and then Eitan, was there one in French?
It's still the same one. It goes between French and Hebrew.
Okay, so...
שלום לכולם. אחרי שאתם מחפשים לקנות או למכור נדל"ן בישראל, תדברו איתי. ואני כל כך בר מזל שיש לי אתכם. Tage et de ce que signifie Korov Shalom. Enfin, je veux prier pour notre pays, Israël, pour qu'il reste fort et en paix. Je veux remercier les soldats de Tzahal qui protègent notre terre avec.
So you could literally start.
I love the one you did with the Migdals and the
We'll show the one with the Migdals. That one had its flaws. Not that the Migdals are flawless, but the video that I made for them had some flaws. Let's see if you guys can see the flaws. Hold on. Let's go right here for 1 second. And it's kind of funny because, it's just, just watch.
Yeah, this.
Where is this thing? No, not that.
Welcome to the deep dive. You know, sometimes you encounter individuals whose work isn't just effective,
And look at the guy in the
it's
background.
really a masterclass.
Right.
They operate at this level where their craft becomes, well, an art form. And
Look at him
then
again.
sometimes you see two such people working together and they
Everyone
somehow
catch that?
amplify each other's strengths. It creates this
Yes.
remarkable synergy. As mentioned, she brings over 24 years of remarkable results. Now, what does that actually mean?
Okay. So you saw that, I hope you saw that he actually walked forward and then he walked backwards. When it came to editing all of this, sometimes the AI does stuff like that. Now, I put it together very quickly for the purpose of this meeting and I gave it to the Migdals. Obviously, they would probably prefer it if it was a better quality video, but the point of the story is this. I'm trying to give you enough for you to go get curious and do this on your own as well. It's pretty cool stuff. Stephen, you have your hand up.
Yeah.
Hold on, Eitan. Stephen had his hand up. You did not.
Sorry, sorry, Eitan. Real quick, it's a twofold question, Edmund.
Okay.
At this point in this stage of your career, are you using a photographer, videographer, and if so, who do you recommend? Or are you doing this on your own now with your team?
Yes and yes. There's a great young man here in Florida.
Yes.
Dina, help me out here. I'm losing his name for a second. Oh, Jad. Jad, right? Gina's muted. She doesn't know how to unmute here.
Oh, Dina, she's part of your team.
Jad is.
Sorry, I don't like speaking over you because I don't want to interrupt. But
No,
yes,
you,
Jad,
Eitan
and
can't.
then we
You
also
can.
have
You can step all over me. Eitan is the one. You better not fuck with me, okay?
we have Jad who does our video, and then we also have Daniel Grill who does our photography.
What are the companies?
Daniel came from VHT, and Jad is on a. Jad's 21 years old.
Oh.
And it's a real
amazing.
And he's just does amazing work. He's really cool.
I just need
a premium, by the way. Those videos that you saw of us, if you saw them, first of all, if all of you are not following me yet on YouTube, I ask respectfully right now that you stop what you're doing and go subscribe to my YouTube channel because there's a lot of great stuff that actually goes on there. You just go to YouTube and look up Edmund Bogen and then subscribe to the first thing that kind of pops up. But there's some great videos that Jad made for us, and it sells. The one where I've got 17615 Foxborough Lane, which is a listing of mine. You could take a look. There's a 5-minute video on there. You can watch it. That video cost me $700. I mean, and so we have not given up on that stuff yet. But we're getting closer and closer where we're able to do certain things. Like, for example, I think some of you saw me take a green pool and make it blue. You could virtually stage these things on your own now. And that's a very common thing for most of us. And most of you have had a listing with a green pool before, right? You know, Victor, no, because in California they're rich and nobody has that. But
no, we just dumped some chlorine in real fast and fixed it.
But we're able to actually manipulate it. And again, that costs no money whatsoever. You're just able to decide. Basically, what I'd like to hear from all of you is the kind of videos that you want to make, the stuff that you really want to put out there. There's a reason why video is working so well on social media. It's got 8 to 10 times the viewership as a static image will have. So if you really want to captivate a lot of people, I like to use humor. And the next video that you're going to see, unfortunately, I couldn't get it done for today. I've got 3 women standing on a golf course saying, my God, that's the worst golfer I've ever seen. And I'm going to be digging a hole with a golf club, you know, not knowing what because I'm a lousy golfer. I really am. And then we zoom in on one of them and she says, yeah, but he got top dollar from my friend's home. He's an amazing realtor. You should list with Edmund Bogen. And then that would be the little commercial that gets created where you're integrating AI imagery that was created of these ladies with me doing what I do best, and that is screwing up a golf swing. So it's pretty cool. I mean, there's stuff that you're going to be able to do, and I'll make sure that all of you get to see it once I've got that actually made. Oh, wow, 9:49. Time flies. Who else? Eitan. Sorry, Eitan's been waiting patiently. Go ahead, Eitan.
So I put a video link to YouTube for the video we did on Genspark. Could you show it?
Sure. Okay. So this was Eitan's creation on which I edited for him, but all the images you're about to see, Eitan made. So let's just take a quick look at this. And everything you're about to see, aside from my doing the editing, the audio is by Suno, which is an audio sound music maker, and the video came from VEO3.
La nuit s'efface comme un vieux refrain. Le chauffeur sourit au coin du chemin. Les rues dordent encore, mais nous sommes vivants dans l'Uber qui file vers le soleil devant. Oh, cette balade au bord du matin, les éclats d'or qui dansent sur nos mains. Un moment si simple, mais tellement divin.
Pretty good, right?
Is that shots of San Fran?
Yeah,
none of it is real.
None. Ooh.
You're listening to Brain FM. We mix neuroscience.
Gotta turn that off. Yeah, again, it really just depends upon what you want to do. I think one of the biggest issues you're going to have is that you need to figure out what you want to do. And for that, we could probably have a mastermind in and of itself. If I ask all of you what is success, all of you will say to me, well, I just want to be happy. Okay, well, I can't really help you with that. But you got to really define what it is that really makes you happy, what it is that really makes you I want more money. I want a washboard stomach. I want to be 32. I mean, I want all those things, but I'm not getting either of those, unfortunately. I could live without the washboard stomach. I'd like to be 32 again. But I'll just say that you need to really truly decide where you want to go with all of this. All of you have been putting the cart before the horse. You've been saying, I want to get video, I want to get audio, I want to do all this stuff, but you haven't figured out why or what you're going to do. That's what you really need to work on. And if you could think about that, then you could reverse engineer it and decide how all these AI tools really fit into your life. I made that workbook, and Eitan and I made the workbook because of the absence, regrettable death of a staff member that actually handled it. Necessity is the mother of invention. Well, we came up with something as a direct result of that. That's the kind of things that I'd love for all of you to get yourselves into without the death, obviously. I'd like you to really have something that you can work toward and be able to go out and find a way to fix your issue that you may have using these great tools that we have at our disposal. So, anything else before we get to wants, needs, and brags? I know this was a very big overview. This video will be streaming online as well for you to go back and see. All of you, if you want to make an appointment with me, and actually let me give this one other thing. A new tool that Eitan and I are using is called M1, which I suggest you download now. It's on the App Store for Apple. I don't know if it's in non-Apple things. I believe they have it in all, but I'm giving you this number here. What is it? 5870840. That is where did it go? Okay. I'll put it up again just because somebody else's thing popped up. That number is my AI receptionist. And it's something that Eitan and I are putting together as well for clients. Again, not perfect at this point, but getting damn close, where you're going to be able to have a receptionist answer the phone for you, set appointments for you. I would encourage you to say, I'd like to make an appointment with Ed. What's available this week? What's available next week? It will schedule that time with you and I. It will, it's just remarkable. To me, and this is going to be really the new standard for operations. So I suggest that all of you, when you have a moment, give it a call. I've got it set right now so that if it doesn't have your number programmed into it, it will ring right through, I think, to the voicemail. If not, I'll just push you off to the voicemail. But I would love to get your feedback on that. Again, 424-587-0840, 424-587-0840. It's in the chat. Again, Eitan, if you could put our email addresses back out there as people have questions for now, please do reach out to us because that's what it is. We will not let you down. Again, my whole thing with all of this is being on the spot. Our methodology might be a little bit slower, but we will get to everybody as I always promise. And if you have an issue with anything, call me and I will correct it. There's no problem that cannot be fixed, at least not in this business. So, okay, wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, what you'd like to brag about. My brag is that working with Daniel Roseseller was just a remarkable 6 years. He's a lovely, lovely man. I wish him and his family peace in this time. And I'm very, very, with some heartfelt comments that everyone made online. Again, I'm fine. It's certainly sad and it's certainly not something, but I'm really I was a little embarrassed to get all these condolences to me because I believe the condolences should really be reserved for immediate family. But I know it all came from a great place and it does mean a lot to me. So thank you for that. Comments, wants, needs, and brags. Who's got something they need or brag? Could be a property that you have. Oh, Marlene, and she's got a dog.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Question. What was the app you said to download from the App Store?
M1.
I just put it in the link.
And Eitan, I don't see it in the link. Oh yeah, Eitan put it in the link. You see that?
Thank you.
So yeah, you could download that app and give it a try. But before you do anything, I'd like you to call my number and try it out. And I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really do. I'd love to get feedback, good or bad. You can't hurt me with this. In fact, you might help me if you say, Jesus, Ed, that sucked. Great. I'd rather hear it from you than somebody who decided not to hire me. Okay? I mean, that's how I operate. I'd much rather fix the problem before anything else. Who else wants, needs, or brags?
I'm going to brag or a thankfulness, maybe either way. But I've been doing a lot of, and it's kind of funny that it's, or ironic that it's a part of this meeting. I mentioned this, but I've been doing a lot of getting back to the basics with just listed and just sold postcards, handwritten letters. Well, not handwritten, but hand signed, hand addressed letters out to prospective farms and stuff like that. And it's starting to pay off. I mean, I had one listing that generated another listing off of either the just listed or the just sold postcard, or maybe both. And then the letters that I have going out, I have one listing on the line, kind of, so to speak. I got to find the right house for them to be able to move, but at least it created a conversation that could lead to some business, and also maybe even a $1.9 million listing down the road in early next year. So a lot of things work.
Paul Zwieben's not here because he would disagree with me, but Eddie, I call that a steak in the freezer at one point.
Yeah.
And Paul Zwieben said you should never freeze a steak, but I call that a steak in the freezer. Evangela, please unmute yourself. I love having Evangela here. Evangela, first tell everyone who you are and where you are.
Good morning. I'm Evangela Brock, and I'm in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is about 45 minutes north of Manhattan.
Great.
So I just was curious. So, what is your number one choice for AI to to stage, virtually stage a listing, a property, a picture?
I mean, number one, you're going to get a 20-minute answer out of me from here. I think for you, probably one of the best things would be Google AI Studio. It's free. It's part of your, while we're doing it, hold on, let me walk you through it here. You go to Google and hopefully you're logged into your Gmail or your Google account. Almost all of you have one. And I could say Studio AI Google or in any kind of order. And then it comes up with the actual name. Because I'm logged in, you actually have this here. If I had a picture, let's go with my green pool. Green pool is a mess. Okay, I've obviously done that before. Let's take a look at some images here. Yeah, this is gross enough. Okay, so let's get this. And I could put this over here. Nice gross pool. If I could just set this on the side here, did that go? Good. Now I could go back in here and I could take this pool and put it in and say, please virtually stage this ugly pool to be blue and beautiful. Of course, now that I'm working on it, it's probably not going to work here, but let's take a look. And they're counting the seconds that it actually takes. And it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I'm going to get it in a second here. You know what? If that didn't work
Just
there.
refresh the page.
Sorry?
Refresh the page.
Thank you.
So you think that's the best one to do virtually staging for listings and stuff?
I think it's a good one. Of course, it didn't work, so no, I don't think it's the best one. Let me try Genspark now and see if we could get this this going here. I go to Genspark. I
did them with Chat GPT and they turned out okay, but I thought, there must be other options that would be better.
If I could ask Evangela, hi, it's Jane Migdal in Boston. Does your office, does your brokerage allow you to do your own virtual staging? Because ours does not.
Yeah, I can. You just have to put it, so on my listing, you could see it. I put the picture of it not staged and then staged, and then I put virtually staged.
Right. But my question is, do they allow you personally to mess around with it yourself, or do you need to hire a professional to do that?
I haven't had anyone say anything, so.
Oh, they don't allow us. So we have a company called Realty. We have a company called Realty Plans, and you can send them a photo, tell them you want, I send them a photo with a dark brown kitchen and yellow walls. And I said, make the walls pale oak by Benjamin Moore, and make the cabinets white with black handles. And it's exactly what they did. And it cost $45 a picture.
Yeah. So Box Brownie does it for like $25. I'm just trying to give myself money, because if you do, 10 photos, it's money.
I am so curious why your company makes you have somebody else do it. If they allow it to be done, why do you have to pay someone else to do it versus doing it yourself?
They don't allow
wow,
us.
Edmund, that's a gorgeous pool rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It might be too good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And again, that's where I go back to, even you can see the side here was changed. So you have to play with it because the fence isn't the same. They got the right idea, but it isn't perfect by any means. But I will say that there are others that I've done before where we really get just some remarkably, it just did exactly what I wanted. It just made the pool blue. And notwithstanding what Jane's saying or rules, I don't want any of you to ever break the rules. I really don't. On the other hand, I don't know if you're going to really get into that much trouble. I leave it to you to really figure that out. I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want to use my advice to kind of hurt yourselves. But I've seen a lot of limits pushers in this business, like bad ones, like missing escrow and shit like that. Okay. I don't know if my green to blue pool is going to rise to that level. I just don't. But it could. I don't know how. Maybe in Boston they're tough. I don't know. Who else? Wants, needs, and brags. That's where rules. There are rules. Thank you, Eddie. You could use a good dose of sarcasm. Anyone?
I have a need to actually demo the number.
Okay, what's the number?
Your number, your receptionist. I think she's exceptional.
Okay, there's my number again. I hope everyone did that. Did everyone subscribe to the YouTube channel as asked? I hope you did. Okay. What else? Guys, this is a great chance to plug yourselves. You don't have a listing you want to brag to the whole world about? No one's going to be mean. If they are, Victor will kick their ass, I assure you. Nobody? Anyone? Ferris Bueller?
I'm a lover, not a fighter, Ed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys. Well, look, it was great having all of you today. Again, please try some of these things that I'm saying. We will have an encore of this meeting next Wednesday. And for those of you who've been here, you're going to see it from a different light if you do a little bit of homework. If you actually go out, tinker with this stuff. If you have questions, you could always call me. But try and utilize these tools to get just a little bit better, to get a little bit closer to the goals. That's what we're really trying to do with all of you. If you've got any major questions, if you've got something, we've got a great group of people here. All of you are so nice. You're so willing to help one another. Collectively, we have this knowledge. If it works for Victor in California and Jonathan in Boston, then it's going to work for Juan in Fort Lauderdale. There's no reason why it can't. Or Stacy in the Hamptons. There's no reason why it can't. A couple of you also asked a question. Is this an element event? No, it's not. We're one bad management away from leaving our companies. All of us are. That's what it is. I am dedicated to you. I happen to be with Element. I happen to love that brand, but I am dedicated to you and all of you. There was one guy who was gonna like not come back because he left the company. It's stupid. I want you. You were great when you were with one company. You're still great now. So I'm glad I got that off my chest because, okay. Guys, good to see everyone. And I hope to see all of you next week for another exciting episode of Raid Nation. Take care.
Have a great week, everybody.
You too.